Hello everybody, Tyrone TG3 here. Dragon Ball Daima episodes 9 and 10. Yes. I'm very aware I'm late. Almost to the point where Dragon Ball Daima has caught up with me. Oh my god. And I can't say there's a viable excuse for it. There were a lot of vacations and week offs that I had from writing, but now that I'm back, I'm ready to get back into Dragon Ball Daima and give you all my thoughts on the latest episodes. While the series is officially ended at this point, and yes, I know what happens in the next 10 episodes, I'm still gonna give my thoughts on what happened directly while trying too hard not to jump ahead. My thoughts are still my thoughts, but I can't deny things I saw in the future. But like I said, between me writing a proper script for each episode and then going through the recording process to make sure you guys get quality reviews on top of giving notes on my trusty editor GoldMight, this isn't an easy task to do, so be mindful of that. But with that out of the way, let's get into Dragon Ball Daima episodes 9 and 10. Cut to our heroes after beating Tamagami Numba 3, and they're understandably tired. Pansy doesn't want to camp anymore and suggests they go to a hotel on the condition that since they all stay in the same room so that they all can guard the Dragon Ball. Also, Goku needs to wear a hat to avoid conflict with citizens. Both of these things go south, however, when some thugs notice Goku's hair, since Goku couldn't keep the hat down, and the round shape of the bag is a dead giveaway that they're concealing a Dragon Ball. So the thugs make it an effort to cause some commotion downstairs in the lobby so that the bird-like thug can steal the Dragon Ball from inside their room. This plan works for all of 5 minutes, but thanks to Pansy having a tracker that tracks the Dragon Balls, which looks oddly familiar. Oh well, Goku makes chase and quickly disposes of them and guards the Dragon Ball for the rest of the night. Honestly, this subplot is a small, light one, yes, which is probably a turnoff for some people, but honestly, I thought it was okay. It brings a very small, real possibility that they have Dragon Balls, so they'll be targeted by other people from all sides. It's short and doesn't take up too much of the time. In fact, it's not even the major focus of the episode. There's 2 other plot points that happen in this episode alone. The other being is with what I call Dragon Ball Daima Team B, or Daima Team B for short. That's the team with Vegeta, Bulma, Piccolo, and Hebus. Team B is at a hotel and they later on go to a bar to celebrate Goku's victory. But when they go to the club, it's actually funny to see Vegeta at a club. I wonder what he'd be even doing there.
Who does this fool think he's dealing with? He's beneath me. I'll show him. I'll show them all.
Anyway, because Veggie Bowl over here got into a fight with some punks last night, they got their ships taken the morning after. Kind of like Goku and the others did. Huh. Well, they have no choice but to wait for Daima Team A to show up, and so they can carpool with them later on. So we cut to Goma and Dagasu, and I'm gonna be honest, I had to watch the episode all over again because no kidding, I almost forgot they were even in the episode. They're on screen for literally like a few minutes, just so that we can get Goma raging out over the fact that Goku and the others got the first Dragon Ball and defeated the Tamagami. He tells Dagasu to send more troops to Demon Realm 2, so we don't see them later until the next episode. So in the meantime, we cut back to Daima Team B, where Goku and crew finally meet up with them, only to tell them, sorry guys, not enough room, we're moving ahead. Now at first, this comes off a little frustrating, only because we finally get to see our crew come together. Only for them to split up again and basically force Vegeta and the others to wait even longer. That is, until I look back, and honestly, it's not that bad of a joke. But it gives Team B a little more to do considering they haven't been in the Demon Realm as long as Team A, and it's funny to see Goku and the others just go, oh crap, your plane's broke? Well, we gotta go, so see ya. I was annoyed at first, but I got some charm out of it, and it's only because they'll meet again not too long from now. We do get to see Vegeta and Piccolo get some action, and as the guys who stole the plane from the night before return with backup ready to fight. We get a very quick scene of Vegeta and Piccolo beating them to a pulp, and then after interrogating them, and some jokes on Hebus' part, they get their old ship back and they're on the road again. The final plot thread in this episode is with Anrisu and Marba, as they finally put ingredients together to create a demon similar to Majin Buu but made with Cyberman DNA. And before I say this guy's name, I was informed by my editor, GoldMight, that in other countries, his name sounds too much like a slur. Now, I like to believe my channel, while we have jokes aplenty, is a safe space for all to enjoy. So, for my international viewers and for the safety of the channel, I'll be referring to this character as Majin. And Majin first assignment that Andresu gives him is to fight Tamagami number 1 so they can retrieve his Dragon Ball, and the episode ends on that cliffhanger. This episode definitely isn't winning any awards for the most interesting, but it is a nice transitional shift episode. I think the real problem here is the fact that Dragon Ball Daima is only a grand total of 20 episodes, and that this one is devoted mostly to transportation and trickery. Things that would normally build character interaction and flesh out a world in a much longer anime sadly becomes a placeholder for what fans are anticipating when watching this on a weekly basis. I for one like the adventure portions of the series, so this is a nice side story and link to the heroes fully coming together. But now we get on to episode 10, where Daima does get its full cast together, and I was saving talking about the whole cast till up to this point. So the episode does begin with Daima Team A in the second demon realm, and it looks basically like Namek. Huh, well, that's sort of a letdown. And I get it, it's for plot purposes. The Namekians have been retconned into being demons again, and that they would have this as their starting home. But one thing I find rather odd about Namekians, no matter what world they move to, the world they end up in always winds up looking like planet Namek, instantly. And yes, I know the Namekians can grow crops and change the area to more resemble home, but to have every area have some remote trace of its own self rather than just be Namek is rather jarring. And of course we know the reason. The fact of the matter is this: the original Namek isn't this place. It's the one that took place during the Frieza saga of Dragon Ball Z. It's the original concept art, and every other world afterwards is just a copy of that made similar for convenience sake. But enough fourth wall breaking. The action starts when Goma's soldiers spot Goku and company and waste no time shooting at them. Goku destroys the ships and the crew dodges a large Kraken. Goku takes care of it, but it doesn't leave a spare ship, and Pansy just barely escapes the ship that they were using to save the Dragon Ball from becoming the Kraken's breakfast. So now that leaves Daima Team 1 with no ship, and now that the tables have turned, that's forcing them to wait for Daima Team 2. Goku rushes over to Daima Team 2 as they arrive in the second demon realm to warn them of the Kraken so they don't end up in the exact same situation. When Vegeta witnesses the Kraken, they make the statement, "We can't fight this right now." And sadly, the week this episode came out, came crawling the power scalers. Yep, overanalyzing this one offline to put the second demon realm Kraken on the same level as Majin Buu and every antagonist that Goku and Co have faced before that. I thought it was extremely obvious that he meant, since the Kraken is a very large beast and they're in a ship, fighting under these conditions wouldn't be ideal. But power scalers are people who take subtext as face value, so I just rolled my eyes and moved on. When Daima Team 2 finally lands and brings the cast fully together for the rest of the series, now we have a complete Daima team. Upon landing, Piccolo states that he feels nostalgic, which makes him sense his original Namek, I suppose. What I'm actually surprised though is that Piccolo's not going on the planet and immediately shouting,
Yes, I'm home! I'm alive! This is all a miracle! I'm awake! I'm wide awake!
But regardless, here we get more lore dumped by Supreme Kai about how the universe was made. Not by this guy, but by this guy. And all of the universes are separated in order to prevent wars, and the Kais are used to watch over the universes and are the same Supreme Kai we see in Dragon Ball Super. That's cool, I guess. It definitely solidifies that this is in no doubt connected to Dragon Ball Super. Yep. And I'm sure it would be ashamed if this series were to introduce some marketing forms later on that would invalidate Super's existence and cause mass confusion as the placement of this series compared to Dragon Ball Super. But why would we have to worry about that? Right? But after the lore, we learn that the Kaioshins are a dying race. Degasu, Arisu, and Shin, or Naraha, are the last of the Kais born from the tree, and thus the demon realm, once they pass, the Kais will be extinct. That's dark. Very dark and heavy. Now, I've been talking about lore dumps in the series, and they've been dropping for a while, but this one is a very heavy one, and for some reason the series doesn't really take it into mind. We never get Supreme Kai's thoughts on this. The feedback he talks about, and the camera zooms in on him, but almost as quickly, the show seems to just graze over it. Knowing the lore of how everything was made in Dragon Ball is a mixed bag for me. Honestly, Dragon Ball's world is so whimsical, I kinda didn't ask or want an answer as to how it was all created. But at the same time, I'm glad they decided to actually use the characters in the already established world to give some answers as to how it was created. Grounding as to what it does and how it's used in a franchise that's over 40 years old. It's clear we needed some form of clarification on the universe and its workings. After that, we cut to Anrisu's story where Majin challenges Tamagami number 1 to a fight, and to everyone's surprise, Majin loses the fight. Which is a shame too, actually, because I like his rather wacky, almost cartoony fight style. It's like watching Dan Hibiki from Street Fighter, Shingo from King of Fighters. Fumble but still get hits in. You can definitely tell this is Toriyama's wackiness combined with modern Dragon Ball spectacle, so I respect that they found a nice way to marriage the two and a result that we didn't expect. This loss definitely does throw off Anrisu too, in more ways than one. While she is disappointed, we can't exactly be mad at Majin, and it's got a weird level of charm behind it. When we cut back to our heroes crammed in the ship to depart, we see that Neva approaches the ship. What are his intentions? We'll have to find out next time. So that's Dragon Ball Daima episodes 9 and 10. And now that we've reached episodes 9 and 10, I want to take a minute to talk about the characters since we now have a full Daima cast. That being the cast that shows up in the opening and ending credit scenes of each episode. Daima's crew consists of Goku, Supreme Kai, Glorio, Pansy, Bulma, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Hebus. Certainly an odd lineup. Goku, obviously being the main character for this series, is rocking the gi that feels like a mix between the one he wears later in the Resurrection F saga of Super and his traditional orange gi. No symbol on it though, but I like the untucked version of the shirt and the new boots. They're simple, but combined with the power pole, it's an obvious mix of all callbacks to Dragon Ball while missing a flash of new in the fit. As far as his character goes, he's been, well, Goku. Nothing too crazy. Him being more childish as a kid is definitely on brand, but Goku's the type of character that has a free spirit to him anyway, so it's more or less checks out. It's clear with Goku's small stature though, there's some things that the artists and animators can make him do as a child that would look a little bit more comfortable for him to do now than if he were a full-grown adult. But I can still see Goku acting in this way. Oddly, while I didn't like his insult to Glorio in episode 6, I do like that he gives Vegeta and Piccolo their props in episode 9 when Pansy asks, "Are your friends strong?" And Goku even telling Vegeta just to go ahead and take care of Goma when Goku and the crew went on ahead to the second demon realm. Next up we got Supreme Kai, and honestly, not much changes. It's clear they're going with his manga designs in terms of colors, and that's fine. Personality wise, he's used as the narrative explanation piece about the current world that they are in, and not really doing anything crazy outside of that. We then have our new members, Glorio and Pansy. Glorio's definitely rocking the Han Solo look and no-nonsense type character, which works well with his crew, at least until they pair up with the second half of Team Daima. I kinda wish we got more of his bad cop moments similar to episode 3 at the bar in the hotel. Pansy has a unique design. It's very Toriyama inspired and shows that she's from the first Demon Realm, making it an amazing fit, and while I do like that she's a mechanic like Bulma, it does make things rather awkward when Bulma does arrive later on. But I respect it too. While Bulma is good at tinkering, Pansy's from the Demon Realm and understands its tech better. So the dynamic that we see here later on works for a different episode. We then bring in our Daima team 2, starting with Vegeta. Okay, so I want to clarify that sigh wasn't just for Vegeta being in the series. I've more or less been tired of Vegeta in general late. I don't like that he's often glued to Goku's hip. I don't like that the series made no effort to give him new clothes, and instead they just gave him that damn Cell Saga Saiyan outfit again, with no change to it whatsoever. I don't like that he's here just because. Piccolo's here too, but you can argue that since he's a Namekian, he has ties to the Demon Realm and the Dragon Balls, so it gives potential for lore. Vegeta's here cause he can make his hair turn gold and thus can be useful. And I know several characters in Dragon Ball are used for that strength alone, but did we need Vegeta for this one? In another series, during the first saga of the gang looking for the Black Star Dragon Balls, Vegeta was not used because they didn't really need him. Goku was the bronze, Trunks was the brains, and Pan was the spirit. A nice trio. Vegeta is in GT later on, but he helps when the story needs him. Here, he's just here. No change to him other than him being a kid. Sadly, the only thing that he's good about him is that here we get to see some good banter between him and Hebus about Vegeta wanting Bulma and him to become adults together and Hebus making boob jokes. But that's humor that has the character play off Vegeta. I'll bring up Bulma next, and it's rather refreshing to see Bulma in the front lines again. As Dragon Ball's transition into Dragon Ball Z, Bulma more or less was taking a back seat on the action because the stakes were getting much higher and that Bulma would be in more danger. So it's a nice touch that since this is Toriyama's final project, Bulma got to play a more active role in it. My big wish is that Bulma and Goku have a nice friend moment to complement that. Sadly, it doesn't happen. But I like the choice of bringing her in. Not every character has to be muscle. Her outfit is a rather simple one with a pink and white dress, but the Capsule Corp medallion, it's a sore thumb on an otherwise nice fit. I'm no fashion police or anything, but even I can tell when something just doesn't work. Now, I briefly mentioned Piccolo when I was talking about Vegeta, but I'll really focus on him now. Piccolo is another surprise in the group that I'm glad came. The series coming off of Majin Buu saga is where Piccolo served more of a sensei role rather than a fighting role. So it's good the series recognizes his strength enough to even consider him worthy to be on the cast. Sadly, it comes with a drawback. Design-wise, Piccolo usually sticks with his old reliable, and I love the joke the community is giving him of aura farming with the drip. So that's nice, and hey, it is a little different. Sporting his arm muscle pad things instead of the pink ones, going for a more manga approach. So that's neat. Finally is Hebus. And while he's definitely the humor in this group, outside of that, nothing really much stands out about him. Gloria reclaims his role of pilot of the group, so Hebus is basically just along for the ride, which I'm fine with. It's clear he'll serve another purpose later on, but I'll get into that when it comes. And that's the Daima cast. It's odd that it took over 10 episodes for them to finally assemble, and it's a 20 episode series, so I see the issue with pacing. But regardless, other than Vegeta, I'm in love with the uniqueness of the Daima crew. Next time, we'll get to see the crew in action as they challenge the second Tamagami to gain the 2-star Dragon Ball. Until then, make sure you give this video a like, and to catch up to my other videos, you can hit that subscribe button. Want to check out my Twitch? Click the link and see my live shenanigans. Until then, I'll see you all then. Tyrone TG3 out.